Hello, my name is Bridget McNulty. I'm the co-founder of Sweet Life Diabetes Community, which is South Africa's largest online diabetes community. We're a non-profit and a public benefit organisation, and I've been living with type 1 diabetes myself for the last 16 years. I'm going to be as succinct as possible, but I should warn you that I love talking about this stuff. So I feel like the seed for this idea was planted 3 years ago. The beginning of 2020, we asked the National Department of Health in South Africa how we could help. And they said, diabetes education. There's no formal diabetes education program in South Africa, and it is the #1 killer of women, second leading cause of death in men. Diabetes is a huge problem in South Africa. We know what a difference education makes, right? So in 2020, we did this deep dive, spoke to every diabetes expert we could find in the country, read all the papers, mapped out the landscape. And from that, 2 truths emerged. The first was that it was necessary to create foundational diabetes education building blocks so that nurses, doctors, people living with diabetes would all understand the basics and be speaking the same language. So we spent the last couple of years doing that. We've created a healthy food guide, fully illustrated, tells you which foods to choose and in which portions. And we've had amazing feedback on this. So our process for creating educational materials is we work with our diabetes community, we work with a behavioral scientist, the head of endocrinology at Groote and UCT, one of the biggest public hospitals, public clinic doctors, public clinic dietitians, and we iterate until we have something that we know works. So our second pair is Teal and Time, and these are paper leaflets, but they have space for your doctor to write on them. Teal is all about the basics of diabetes education. Time is specifically about type 1 and works with Teal. We want doctors to write on it so it becomes a precious relic. We want them beautifully designed so that people want to keep them. And we've just created now a diabetes rights solution tool that explains what your rights are if you're in public or private. 85% of South Africans are in public care. This information didn't exist before, so no one knew what their rights were. And we've now created that, and we've turned it into a WhatsApp chatbot, which was the second truth that emerged. So we recognized we needed foundational diabetes education building blocks, and that WhatsApp was the ideal solution to convey this information. Print as well, because in the public clinics, it's nice to have something tangible to hand over, but WhatsApp has 93% penetration in South Africa. In 2020, though, the only way to build a WhatsApp chatbot was to have a big fancy company quote you a lot of money, and we couldn't get the funding for that. But the tech has evolved so much that it's now possible to build chatbots fairly easily. We've actually just built our first journey, which is, do you know your diabetes rights? We offer the rights whether you're in public or in private, type 1 or type 2. And then we go into, do you need help managing your diabetes? And we offer a series of audio stories from South Africa's favorite storyteller. In English, isiZulu and isiXhosa. So 2 things that are really important to us are health literacy. We know that if the information is going to have an impact, it really has to be pitched at the right level, and making sure that the information is in the right language, practically, and in the right languages. South Africa has 11 official languages, and that it's geared towards behavior change. So now we have all these foundational bits. We're able to build a WhatsApp chatbot, and now it feels like the perfect time to build it out. But we don't only want to build it out for a South African solution, because we keep doing things in silos, right? And many of the African countries have similar issues with diabetes education. I've heard this firsthand from diabetes advocates. So what we want to do is flag where it's specifically South African content so that that could be implemented with local content from whatever African country you are. But much of the basic educational components will be consistent. The seed was planted 3 years ago. It's definitely ready to flower and grow into fruition. We just needed some help to get there. Thank you for your consideration.